Hi everyone, and welcome to our film on the role of gas in the Dutch society. This is an applied communication research that was commissioned by the natural gas company GASTERRA in the Groningen region in the northern of the Netherlands. And this company was interested in finding out how the debate around the topic natural gas was being conducted, both in the scientific literature and in the public domain. But why would GASTERRA be interested in finding out what is being said about natural gas at all? Well, we can say that the context for our investigation was kind of a shaky one, because natural gas extraction of the Groningen gas field has brought a lot of profit for the Dutch economy on the one hand, but on the other hand, it has also caused severe earthquakes that are drastically sinking real estate prices in the Groningen region. So there is a large public dissatisfaction with the gas sector extracting the gas in this region. So GASTERRA wanted to know how the public is discussing the topic gas under these circumstances. We have established some research questions for our applied communication research. One research question focuses on which frames or recurring topics are being put forward by stakeholders within the natural gas debate, and also specifically about GASTERRA. And the second research question focuses on the effects of these frames in the debate. So how did we answer our research questions? We have conducted a so-called rapid evidence assessment of 20 peer-reviewed scientific journals in order to find the main trends in the scientific literature about the role of natural gas in the Dutch society. And then we also conducted an online discourse analysis of social media to identify the recurring patterns of frames in the public debate. The results of our applied communication research project are a tone of voice or advice for natural gas company GASTERRA in order to enter a more suitable dialogue with the citizens about the topic natural gas. So, what are our results of the rapid evidence assessment of the literature review? Well, we found that conventional winning of natural gas, or even the acceptance of it, are no main themes in the scientific literature at all. Because of all the fossil fuels, natural gas is by far the most accepted one. And the recent earthquakes in the northern region of the Netherlands instigate some unrest in the scientific literature, but we found only one article that specifically dealt with this. So science is actually focused on sustainable energy sources and on the factors that influence it and that can help energy transition. Conventional energy sources are thus a thing of the past. We did find consensus on a number of factors that influence the acceptance of innovations in general. For example, the importance of trust. Trust in all the involved stakeholders is of the utmost importance for all the parties. But also the sense of justified distribution, of the equal distribution of both costs and benefits was also of central importance. But also the idea of having an honest decision-making process from early on involving all the parties was central in the scientific literature. So finally, top-down communication forms, which are imposed by central or local governments or also by companies, often lead to resistance. So communication and understanding the public concerns on sustainability seems to be the central focus of scientific literature at the moment. But what is the public saying about natural gas? How is the debate occurring and taking place in the public domain? We have conducted a discourse analysis of online interaction of Facebook and Twitter messages, and we have focused our discourse analysis in finding out what people actually do in the interaction with each other. What action is actually taking place? Is somebody apologizing? Is somebody admitting guilt? Is somebody confirming something or trying to raise their own credibility to participate in the debate? The results of our discourse analysis are a set of patterns or recurring themes that are being put forward in the debate. We have submitted search terms to a social media monitoring tool, and we have looked for peaks in the interaction where a lot of tweets and postings were being put around the topic natural gas in the Dutch society. And we finally identified 2 peaks for our discourse analysis. So in total, we have analyzed 315 messages of Facebook and Twitter between the 18th of February and the 29th of February in 2015. And what did we find out? We found an overarching pattern in the public debate on the discourse on natural gas, which we have termed questioning the integrity of government and business. So citizens are concerned about criticizing, about showing resistance. And how do they do this? Well, they use 3 different mechanisms. First, they accuse government and companies of manipulation and of cunning. Second, they accuse them of emphasizing financial interests and not individual emotions. And third, they present themselves as being victims of this manipulation and of this cunning. We further found 2 specific themes that pertain only to the GASTERRA company that we were investigating. The first one was, we have termed shoving responsibilities. So first of all, citizens try to shove the responsibility for what is going on in the Groningen region onto GASTERRA, but at the same time, they also accuse GASTERRA of not accepting the responsibility themselves. And the second theme is, of course, the public trying to undermine the credibility of GASTERRA. We have brought 2 tweets from the theme on GASTERRA and on responsibility as an example of what we have found in our data. The first one is, maximizing profit is also GASTERRA's slogan, profit before the people of Groningen. And what we have analyzed in such tweets is that while the speaker is implying that GASTERRA is comparable to other parties in the gas sector, because they are also putting profit before the people of Groningen, they can also be seen as a somewhat unknown or different party, because the speaker has included a question mark. Is it also the slogan of GASTERRA? This, of course, is an accusation for GASTERRA, but it also offers some chances of acquiring a somewhat different role than the rest of the parties in the gas sector. The second tweet is, GASTERRA, the political decision on how much natural gas can be exploited is not ours. And here the speaker uses a quote from GASTERRA, but it also has the effect of accusing GASTERRA of specifically not taking on the responsibility for the gas winning and the gas distribution. What are our general conclusions of our discourse analysis? For the public, the gas debate is all about earthquakes. It's not about profit, and it's not about the Dutch society and its economy. It's all about the damage of earthquakes, and the bad guys are, of course, the gas companies. We also found that communication was very much one-sided. So citizens are participating in an interaction among themselves, but they are not really engaging in an interaction with authorities or with GASTERRA. The main aim of the public debate on natural gas and GASTERRA is, of course, to undermine the integrity of authorities and specifically also of GASTERRA. And what kind of concerns, of implicit concerns, do citizens show in their discourse? Well, they try to avoid seeming too emotional and also too opposing of the government in order to raise their credibility to participate in the debate. They also try to avoid being always complaining or whining about the same situation and seeming too angry at the situation so that they can maintain a neutral tone of voice and thus also raise their credibility to participate in the debate. Finally, they also avoid being put into social categories, like, for example, being too radical, too left-wing, or too hippie, so that that they try to seem not too naive and informed enough to participate in the debate on natural gas. But how do our results of the scientific literature and the discourse analysis on the public debate tie up into an advice, into a tone of voice for natural gas company GASTERRA? We found that GASTERRA was barely visible in the broader gas debate. When it was visible, it was predominantly in a negative way, but sometimes it was also seen as an unknown, different party, which offers possibilities for GASTERRA in the communication. In general, the public found that GASTERRA did not assume responsibility for the earthquakes damaging their properties and was thus not a credible partner to engage in a dialogue with. So, what kind of mechanisms can GASTERRA use in order to engage in a more profitable communication with the general public? We have developed 3 mechanisms that GASTERRA can use in order to engage in the interaction with the public in a more suitable way. First of all, GASTERRA should acknowledge anxiety, not fear, not emotion, but the anxiety and the concerns of the public. Second, GASTERRA should identify a spokesperson, a credible spokesperson to speak for sustainability. And finally, GASTERRA should develop a bird's-eye perspective or a helicopter view on sustainability in order to distance themselves from the earthquakes and the debate around it and to participate in the larger debate of the energy transition. What does GASTERRA need to do? Well, GASTERRA needs to take its social environment seriously and engage in a serious dialogue or conversation with the public about a shared and collective problem of sustainability and not only natural gas. GASTERRA also needs to take on responsibility for a sustainable society and generate trust in the solutions that are being proposed. And finally, GASTERRA needs to oversee the entirety of the energy transition from fossil fuels to sustainable energy sources, and thus gain and maintain the right to speak. Thank you very much.